I've been a strength and conditioning coach for over 10 years now under my own platform, Blueprint Student Athletes. I am a spoken word artist and motivational speaker under my platform, Execute Your Blueprint. I am an author with my very first published book, Emotions Into Motion. I am a husband to a beautiful black queen.
Okay.
I am a father to 3 incredible children, a son to 2 tremendously supportive parents, and an older brother to an extraordinarily intelligent sister. Now, why am I giving you all these titles? Do you really need to know all that about me? I'll tell you why. It's because I'm echoing the excellence of my identity. I'm gonna say that again. I am echoing the excellence of my identity. Because I used to have none. You see, as a young child moving back and forth from California to Oregon and Oregon back to California, I had nothing to hold on to growing up. I had nothing to identify with, whether it was a church, a school, friend group, family members, anything like that. It was just me, my parents, and my sister. It was just us 4. And the only thing that I could really take with me was a basketball, so that was my sanctuary. And so I tried my best to identify with the environment around me, which soon enough did not work. I was embraced by a culture that endangered me. I was brought into gang activity to where I had to do some actions that I am not proud of. And it brought me into a darkness that I had to embrace, and I was not ready for it at that young of an age. Moving back into Portland, my mom got a job here at Jesuit. My dad was an alum here at Jesuit, so they both agreed that this was a great environment for my academics and my spirituality. But to be honest with you, I felt like I was a chocolate drop going straight into a glass of milk. I was completely out of this world. If you can imagine that transition of being around a bunch of young black folk who are constantly fighting for survival to a point where you are just questioning your own existence because you are completely out of place. I had no way of fitting in, and so the only way that I can make a way for myself was to make a way. I became the president of the Black Student Union here, a lead ambassador for the diversity program, and the lead ambassador for the school itself. Everybody gave me all these titles here, and it was amazing because I got to have all this sense of value that everybody was giving me. But in reality, they were just masks to hide who I thought I really was. That one kid who consistently fought for survival, who brought people down just so he could stay up. I was not proud of me. I was not happy for my successes or my achievements because I felt like I didn't deserve them. And my only sanctuary from that darkness, like I said, was basketball. My only way to cope with any negativity was fitness. And those opportunities brought me to be a collegiate basketball player where I got to embrace the same community as I did here. But then I suffered 3 concussions that impacted me in several ways. One, I was told by a doctor that I can no longer play basketball. If I suffered one more concussion, I would have severe effects that would affect me for the rest of my life. It also took me away from fitness for a while, which was my only coping mechanism. And lastly, it opened up a gate of overwhelming emotions that I've been suppressing for years. I had no identity to hold on to, and so I was rushed by waves and tides of the world. I spiraled downhill so fast. September 2017, I was hospitalized for 2 weeks on a 24/7 suicide watch. They put me in a hospital room where I was by myself with a bed in the bathroom. The only ways of communicating with anybody was with my parents, as they can only visit me once a week. So that was twice. And the only people who I could communicate on the phone with was any friends who wanted to communicate with me, and there was only one. I was surrounded by constant voices telling me that I was nothing. And anything that I was negative. Somebody who brought pain, somebody who stole, somebody who cheated, somebody who lied. And I listened. And that's why I was there. The only thing that I had access to besides my own medication was a pen. Not even a pen. You know, that little sliver that's inside this little tube. I could only have access to that. And then a sheet of paper whenever I asked. And so in order to get rid of those voices in my head, the only thing that I thought would help was just to write them down. I wrote my fears, my pains, my agonies, my sufferings, and I kept writing. I wrote my experiences, my thoughts, my ideas, and I kept writing. I wrote my joys, my happiness, my love, my passions, and I kept writing. I wrote about God, and I kept writing. Out of nowhere, I had no idea, but all those emotions that I had in my head were flowing into a motion of pen and paper. And little did I know that those poems would be the very first book that's sold around the world. Emotions into motion. Little did I know that in that dark room, the tough conversations that I had with my parents ended up being the foundation of our strong relationship now to this day. Little did I know that that one friend who would constantly call me asking me how I'm doing or if there's any way that they can support me is now the beautiful woman I call my wife. You see, in that space of darkness, where I was alone, full of silence, and the only thing I heard was the voices in my head, and I finally had the opportunity to take all those negative voices out, I finally had the moment to just talk to God. I found my identity. And now through this opportunity, I get to share that with you so you can find yours. You see, birth occurs twice, my black child. The first is in the eyes of the world, now able to classify you and define you with just a few words. Based on your surface, they place you on a stage like a merchant to predestine your purpose and preconceived notions of what your worth is. If you white, you're worth this. If you're not, you're worthless and undeserving of any reimbursement for the curses coerced unto you with perverseness. And whether you like it or not, just surrender. That's how it works here. You see, that's exactly how society moves no matter who you were created to be. They speculate your origin or regulate your portion of this nation's feed, then feed you lies and fallacies of who they intend you to be, when the truth is they have no control in the least. Yet we still remain prisoners to the chains of our stereotypes. Yet we still choose to be the ones to guard them. Man, Stanford's experiment is not just limited to prisoners and guards, you see. But hey, chill. Ancestors, the slavery has been abolished. Man, that's just a polished way of cropping our pain out of their history. To hide the mystery of our stolen hearts like gashes hidden by a Band-Aid. They think we're stupid, like we're born yesterday. But our minds have aged with more than books from a class. Understand, Kunta Kinte called his name Toby just to get that whip off his back. But do not let that whip make your mind break. For birth occurs twice, my black child. The second is of your own making. A moment of revelation, rejuvenated by your second wind after you've hit rock bottom from your relation to sin. Rebirth is the realization that your true worth is not where they placed you, but where you place yourself. You create your legacy. You write your story. You define your wealth. You do it on your own because they're not going to help. The butterfly does not break its cocoon with the help of the branch that holds it. So break the chains they leash you in. Shed the skin they leave you in. Escape the cage they see you in and observe their fear as they see you win. And when you're done, tell them here, hold it. Be focused and hone in on your spiritual potency. For these lyrics are not for you to admire my lyrical fluency. Let those in power be the ones who read my words foolishly. While you self-reflect on your inherent royalty instead of these disparaging perceptions of you seeming meek as slaves when you were kings and queens that gave the knowledge and wisdom that paid for their ignorance that could have sent them to their graves. Let this day be your birthday, black child. if y'all hear me though. As much as I can sit here and rhyme and say bars, I know everybody likes hearing that. I don't think you hear the fact that this world gives you a reputation. They claim who you are. But it's the word identity. Identity. I say who I am. I am who I am. Does that phrase sound familiar? Yahweh. I am who I am. You understand, Kabir, an Indian poet from the 17th century, says God is the breath of all breaths. The very moment we come into this world screaming our first breath, Yahweh. The very moment we leave this earth, the last breath, Yahweh. Everything that we describe within ourselves each and every day, when we wake up and we go to bed, we describe his name. I am what? Man, I am ugly. I am painful. I am a mess. I am this. I am dumb. All of those. Who are you really describing? I am beautiful. I am blessed. I am loved. Who are we really describing? Now you have a new idea of what it means to be in the image of his likeness. Because every time you describe I am, you say his name. Now the enemy constantly wants you to fill in that negative phrase. And right now they think it's over. I heard it yesterday. Somebody was talking about seasonal depression. That's not just every fall. That's through every adversity. And the enemy sees when you make those mistakes. They see when you fail. They see when you have those moments with your head down. They see when you're just fatigued and tired. And they see when you're defeated. And they think they've won. This last thing I leave with you is a message to that enemy. You thought it was over? Oh no, we just getting started. I'm standing on business taller than a statue of a martyr. My dreams of a better world is matching that energy of Martin's. You thought the fires would break me down? Oh no, I remain solid. I'm swinging on my demons. You would have thought I was Muhammad. I don't think y'all hear me. Oh, man, ain't no stopping us now. I'm like a snowflake spiraling downhill, only getting larger. It's inevitable that I win. You have no power to discard me, but keep on trying. You can try to knock me. I'm only getting better from battling your monotony. I'm soaking up all my wins like I'm playing Monopoly. This ain't about me, this the God in me. I'm just fulfilling the sanctifying prophecy. Honestly, it's my policy to provide opportunities for the progeny. I'm a prodigy, constantly overcoming possibly. It's plausible that I've already completed your odyssey, but you thought it was over. You thought you could break me. You thought the adversities and traumas you gave me would shape me into this multiple figure that to your command, but that ain't me. I'm stronger than ever, and I got that from my babies. This is cake to me. After all those spears you stabbed in my back, what's a shake to me? Every roadblock is just a detour to the same destiny that was meant for me. And I shall pursue every hill, dip, turn, bump faithfully. Man, I've been waiting patiently for years to meet my Creator. You think that's scary to me? This cross that I bear was made for me. And so I shall carry it to that peak and stand there graciously. You thought it was over? Nah, it's only the beginning. Only way it's over is when I'm standing there winning.
Woo.
I'll leave you with this. This is your opportunity to embrace your identity. Empower your presence. And as I say with my platform, execute your blueprint. Thank you.